What's going on, y'all? Happy Tuesday. How y'all doing? Let's see who we have here. Of course, I'm not even going to be able to see who we have here because I'm going to drive with the sun in my eyes. So we'll just have to wait and see who shows up, and I'll find out later on who is listening in. So, anyway, I got about 20 minutes until I get to my destination. So how y'all doing on this fine Tuesday? It is 94 degrees, a blistering 94, sweaty, hot 94 degrees in the Metro DC area as I travel along the beautiful George Washington Parkway. So, got a few minutes, and yeah, you see the title. It's basically saying, you know, because that would be foolish and maybe even stupid. Yeah, that's the title. Because that would be foolish and maybe even stupid. And, you know, I was just saying that because I was talking to my boy Kevin this morning, and I think one of the biggest problems that we have today is we've allowed political correctness to blunt us so much. Not even so much, you know, it's not even like just trying to have courtesy, but I think political correctness has led to us being unwilling to say that the emperor has no clothes. See, I mean, I keep meaning to do this. I'm gonna have to do this one day. Do a video about morality tales, all the children's tales that I remember reading growing up, and the way these stories were designed to teach us lessons. And it's a shame because I've asked a lot of people from younger generations if they've heard of these different tales, and they haven't, which is really sad. I mean, like, you know, Chicken Little, The Little Red Hen, The Boy Who Cried Wolf, the Emperor Has No Clothes, all these different morality tales, for whatever reason, maybe because they don't want a moral society, but for whatever reason, the younger generation has not been taught these morality tales. And as a result, they just don't quite understand that some things are foolish and sometimes downright stupid. You know, and you kind of, you know, one of the things I've recognized as I've been engaged actively in mentoring people, young adults who are in their 20s, is, you know, now it's not all of them, but the ones who are looking for mentorship, they appreciate being bluntly told that would be foolish and probably even stupid. Because they appreciate the honesty. Their whole lives, people have been afraid to offend them. So people won't tell them the butt-naked honest truth. They won't tell them, hey, that's foolish and probably even stupid. And what you have when you see all these protesters out there, you know, these are the ones who are basically saying, well, you can't say that to me. One, well, you just can't because that's not nice, right? Two, that would hurt my feelings. And three, moral relativity. There's no such thing as right or wrong. Everybody's opinion has equal merit. Nah, bruh. Everybody's opinion does not have equal merit because everybody's opinion is not based off of fact. A lot of people, people are like, oh, opinions are like, butts. Everybody has one. Yeah, but everybody's opinion is not correct. And that's one of the things that you've been led to believe, that just because you have an opinion, that it should be held in high esteem. Nah, bruh, that ain't true. Because sometimes your opinion is foolish and sometimes downright stupid. And one of the most loving things you can do for someone is to tell them that something that they think or feel is foolish and maybe even a little stupid. So, for example, you can go around thinking or feeling that, as I talked about in a post earlier, feeling like swimming with great white sharks is just, it makes sense. It's communing with nature. I feel like that. Right here in my feels. It feels like the right thing to do. And you know what? Somebody who loves you will let you know that that's foolish and maybe even downright stupid. But you have people out there who will say, hey, you feel like swimming with sharks? Hey, buddy, you do that. That sounds like a great idea. But those people will be standing over your grave. Of course, it'll be an empty grave because there won't be anything left. You'll be in a shark belly. There'll be a closed casket talking about you in memorial. What a swell guy you were. It's kind of stupid he went swimming with sharks, but hey, he lived his dream. Now see, that's what you have to let people know. See, this is why you study history. And one of the books I'm reading is basically, I've talked about it before. It's called Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice. And basically it's Dr. Dennis Kimbrough was given the manuscript as the basic manuscript that Napoleon Hill had started, because he had done his masterpiece, Think and Grow Rich. And he wanted to do something, to write something specifically for blacks who were at that point the largest minority group in America, to let, to kind of help with the thinking of blacks and letting blacks know that you can be successful, and that there have been plenty of other black people who've been successful in this country, even during Jim Crow, despite Jim Crow. And at the end of the day, those who were successful were so because of how they think. Right? So it's Think and Grow Rich. And listen, when I say Think and Grow Rich, it's not just, once again, if you read the book, you know. But rich is not limited to dollar bills. So once again, if you got your panties in a bunch over the use of the term grow rich, it's because you haven't read the book and you're not qualified to debate about this. Just go read the book and then you can come back and talk to me. So anyway, Think and Grow Rich, it puts it in space. It's thinking, not feel and grow rich. Think and grow rich. And but one of the things that Dennis Kimbrough said in Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, was basically kind of saying, hey, it's building off of what Napoleon Hill had talked about, that it's really a shame that each new generation is going around having to learn the things that were learned by the previous generation. And so, it's kind of like, I'll tell you this. I had a friend, and we kind of fell out. Nothing bad, we kind of fell out. But I remember at some point being envious. This is back when I was young and stupid. I was envious of the fact that his parents had actively thought about his future. And so they had laid a foundation so that he could stand on their shoulders and see further and go further. And he does very well. Like I said, let's just say in the South, he's very successful. And that's as far as I'll go on that. But he's very, and you know what? You'll probably see him as probably a U.S. Senator one day. It would not surprise me in the least bit if he ends up becoming a U.S. Senator from one of those southern states. But anyway, here's the thing. The foundation was laid for him so he could see further, because he was able to stand on the shoulders of his parents. His parents actively taught him the things that they learned so that he wouldn't have to go and learn them himself. So what that does is that exponentially speeds up your growth, right? So now you can go and study history. Now my growth has been sped up because I've actively went out and studied history myself. But you imagine my future generations, or some of the young people that I'm mentoring, I've told them all the same thing. Listen, I want you, by the time you're my age, I want you to be so much further ahead than I am, because I'm sharing with you the wisdom and knowledge that I've gained, so you don't have to do some of the things that I've done that were foolish and probably even a little stupid. See, here's the thing. I talk about the things that I've said or done or thought that were foolish and maybe even a little stupid, because my ego is not in control in terms of like or my ego is no longer that fragile, that having to acknowledge that things that I used to think and say and do were foolish and maybe even a little stupid. I mean, like, if somebody is in a position that I want to be in, if they have wisdom and knowledge that I don't have, and they see that my thought process, my actions, my take are foolish and maybe even a little stupid, I appreciate them letting me know. You know, but once again, you have to have fruit on a tree, you know, for me to let you say, hey, you know, that's foolish and maybe even a little stupid. I mean, an average person, random person is not going to walk up to me and just say, hey, I think your thinking or what you say or what you do is foolish and maybe even a little stupid. No, I'm not listening to that. You know, it's not going to come from an average person. But someone who has fruit on a tree, by all means, you know, I've already given those people who are in my life that permission to do that. So anyway, that's just the kind of stuff, when you really stop and think about it, you know, what is foolish and maybe even a little stupid. Don't you want people to tell you, you know, that if you really want to grow, you want someone to tell you what you're doing is foolish and a little stupid. It's just like, you know, you want somebody to tell you that fire is hot. Or do you really want to have to find out the hard way by grabbing something hot and getting third-degree burns? See, it's a thought process that someone has. You know, someone who really wants personal growth wants to know what is foolish thinking, what is possibly stupid thinking. And they want to avoid that. You know, but you got willful people out there who are more concerned with their egos than they are with personal growth and success. And, you know, all I'm saying is some things are foolish and maybe even stupid. And it's better that you have someone tell you that, someone who has fruit on the tree, someone who's maybe gone through that, than for you to have to learn it yourself. I mean, it's kind of like the idea of you just saw somebody walk into the door, you know, walk into a glass wall or whatever like that. And then they say, hey, by the way, there's a glass wall there. I know it looks like a, you know, opening, but it's glass wall. Don't go that way, because hitting it, you know, that would be foolish and maybe even stupid. And you go ahead and say, no, I'm not listening to you. I'm going to go ahead and do it also. And then you end up looking foolish and kind of stupid. You follow the thought process we're talking about. It really requires that you think, stop and think. And, oh man, I got the Sirius XM radio going, which I had to make sure I turned down because the last time I started out doing a video and I just had the music pumped up just a little bit before I began talking, and Facebook let me know that I couldn't do that because I didn't own the rights to that music, so I couldn't have music playing loudly in the background. But anyway, on my Sirius XM radio, they had Milli Vanilli playing Girl You Know It's True, which is a very interesting. I got some stories associated with that. Some of the guys I went to high school with in Germany actually were doing music. Terrell and Chris were doing music, and they had gotten connected with the same producers that were producing Milli Vanilli and their fraud. And to my knowledge, I think that producer still owes these guys money, that's a whole funny side story. But anyway, if you feel what I'm talking about, the fact that there's some things that are just foolish and maybe even a little stupid, and that you actually owe it to someone at the very least, not for yourself, not because you get some sort of pleasure out of running around telling people that they're stupid or foolish. When I say those things, they're not for my ego. I'm really not emotionally attached to it, which I always think is interesting, because there are people who think that they know me. They think they know how I think or how I feel, and they think I get some sort of pleasure out of telling people, man, that's kind of foolish or stupid. No, listen, I don't. It's rare. I have to kind of have a certain disdain for you, for me to see you, for me to get a certain pleasure out of seeing you fail, like Hillary Clinton. Yeah, I enjoyed that one. I can't even lie to you. But otherwise, no, I don't get any pleasure out of saying to someone, hey, that's foolish and maybe even a little stupid, because I just think, why do you have to step on that landmine? Why do you have to fall off that cliff? Why do you have to run in that door? You don't have to. Someone is telling you how to avoid that. And so I don't really get any pleasure out of that unless you're like Hillary Clinton. But anyway, I'm cutting this short. I'm almost at my destination. Hope you got something out of this. And like I always say, listen, you don't have to like what I say. You don't have to agree with what I say. But if, at the very least, I hope that what I say makes you stop and think. And if you do, that makes me happy. And of course, if you share it with other people and it becomes a topic of discussion, that's even better. But either way, leave something in the comment section. Let me know you watched. Let me know you heard. Let me know what you think. And you guys take care, and God bless.